The Grand Canyon is sitting in Arizona in the United States. It's been there for millions of years, untouched. It's basically just a massive hole in the ground that tourists visit. And I kept thinking, what if someone just decided to fill it with water? Obviously, nobody would ever do this. But what if they did? How would you even do it? So here's a possible way it could be done. So how big is this thing actually? It is 277 miles long. It would take you about 5 hours just to drive from one end to the other. It is up to 18 miles wide at its widest point, and it is over a mile deep. 6,093 feet to be exact. The total volume of it is around 4.17 trillion cubic meters. So to fill it, you would need between 1 and 2 quadrillion gallons of water. To put that into perspective, even if you redirected all of Niagara Falls directly into the Grand Canyon, it would take between 42 and 84 years just to fill it up. And if you poured every single river on the planet into it at the same time, it would still only be about half full. We could literally fit every single person on Earth inside it. It wouldn't be very comfortable, mind you, but there would still be room left over. So here's the plan. First, we need to build 2 massive dams at both ends of the Grand Canyon to keep the water in. Without those, it's just going to flow straight out the other side. Next, we need to sort out the porous rock, because if we just started pumping water in right now, it would drain straight through the canyon floor. So we need millions of tons of concrete sealant injected into the rock before a single drop goes in. Then we start diverting the water. We're going to redirect multiple major rivers simultaneously into the Colorado River, which already runs through the canyon. The big ones being the Mississippi and the Missouri. But even that won't be enough. So we're also going to have to pump water directly from the Pacific Ocean. And here's the problem with that. It's salt water. So we'd need to treat it and convert it to fresh water first. Otherwise, we'd have a large-scale ecological catastrophe on our hands rather than a lake. You'd need thousands of miles of pipes and industrial pumping systems just to get the water from the ocean to the canyon in the first place. And even with all of that happening simultaneously, the dams, the sealed rock, the diverted rivers, the desalination plants, the pumping systems, it's still probably going to take decades before it's even remotely full. The construction alone would most likely be the biggest engineering project ever attempted in human history. So here's where it starts to get a bit problematic. By diverting all these rivers for our pointless mega project, every city downstream that once relied on them for drinking water, well, they won't have that anymore, will they? We are cutting off water supply to huge sections of America, millions of people affected, for a swimming pool. The Hoover Dam and Lake Mead, which sit downstream from the Colorado River, would completely dry up because we've redirected their entire water source into our hole in the ground. The current ecosystem inside the Grand Canyon gets completely destroyed as we fill it up. That includes 355 species of birds, 89 mammal species, 56 reptile species, and over 1,500 species of plants, all gone. And fossils dating back 1.2 billion years get permanently submerged underwater, unless we decide to drain it as our next pointless project. On the bright side, it would become the biggest inland body of water in the United States by a country mile. And from space, it would look like a brand new lake had appeared overnight in the middle of the American Southwest. So when we finally finish filling it, and I do mean finally, what we essentially have is a 277-mile-long and 18-mile-wide lake sitting in the middle of the Arizona desert. And here's the problem with that. Because of the Arizona heat, our big swimming pool lake thingy would evaporate at around 100 inches of water every single year, which means we would essentially have to keep pumping water in forever just to stop it from disappearing again. The surrounding desert would start to change though. That much water in one place creates a huge amount of humidity and would cause increased rainfall in the area. So we'd basically be turning part of the Arizona desert into something resembling a rainforest, which nobody asked for. On the plus side, tourism would go through the roof, probably even more than it already does. Although saying that, we've just permanently destroyed one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. So maybe people won't be that thrilled about visiting a lake where the Grand Canyon used to be. And if we ever had a change of heart and decided to drain it, well, it would take just as long to drain it as it took us to fill it. So basically, we're committed.